I learned something as a kid growing up. Loyalty means nothing. Commitment means nothing. All I ever saw were people who were committed to themselves, not to relationships. I saw broken relationships. I saw relationships thrown away. I saw it in culture. I saw it in families. I saw it in the church after I got saved. People will, churches will split because they're not committed to relationships. They're committed to what their own set of doctrines are, theologies are. Everybody has commitments to themselves, but not to relationship. So what it really came down to was this. When Luella said that, when I was talking about my family member, it triggered the two events where she threatened to leave me. You got that? However, that triggered a belief that people will leave you one day. And so you always hold parts of yourself back. So when they leave you one day, it won't hurt so much. That's where it really stemmed from. It's what my brain learned watching in culture and in my own family and brokenness. People are not committed to you and relationships, they're committed to themselves. And that people will use you until they don't need you anymore, and they'll throw the relationship away and move on. And everything else that happened over the years was linked to that core belief that I had in my head about life and relationships. And I learned it by watching it in my home, by watching in culture, by watching friends of mine's family being thrown away. It all stemmed from that. And so I was able then to call Luella back and go, I know where this is coming from. And I told her, don't take this personal. It's not your issue, it's mine. And I was able to share with her where it came from. And the more that I learned to deal with my own unresolved issues that created the inability to feel safe in relationships, the more I could take the risk to feel safe. So what do you need to do to feel safe? Number one, you got to take a risk. You got to take a risk. Talk to your spouse, open up with them, become vulnerable. Listen for each other's deeper relational need in that issue. It may be that person's just looking for affection or attention or acceptance or approval or respect or appreciation from you. You have to listen for the deeper relational needs. And Relate Well, we actually identify those 10 relational needs and how to listen for them and how to communicate around those things, all right? And then care for how it is for them. You don't have to agree. Luella didn't have to agree with what my brain was saying, but she did care. She did care. And then find agreements that work for the relationship so that you can create safety for both of you in the marriage. I hope maybe in some small way this helps as you think about what we bring with us from our childhood that prevents us from being safe. Now, let me say this as we kind of wrap up. There are some areas, excuse me, 3 particular areas in any marriage that you have to feel safe in. Number one, I have to feel emotionally safe with you. I got to feel emotionally safe with you. That I can be vulnerable, that I can share my hurts and my fears and my pains. All right. And that as I share my hurts and my fears and my pains, you're going to listen and care. I get to be me. I don't have to wear a mask, a false self. I can be the true self. We also need to feel safe in terms of food, air, water, and shelter. Got it? Those are the basics of survival. So we need to feel safe in our survival needs. We need to feel safe in emotional needs. And I need to feel safe. I need to feel safe physically. You're not going to hit me. You're not going to throw things at me. You're not going to get in the way and intimidate me. All right? Those things that make me feel physically threatened. And the fourth one, I need to feel intellectually safe. I have the right to my thoughts, to my perceptions, to my perspectives about life. And you can honor and respect them. You may have to agree, but you'll honor and respect them. We need to feel safe in terms of food, air, water, shelter, those basic survival needs. I need to feel safe physically. You're not going to hit me, hurt me. I need to feel safe emotionally. I can be my true self with you. And I need to know in that emotional safety, I can think the way I want to think. I have the right to own my feelings and thoughts, and you will honor and respect them. You don't have to agree with them. We need to feel safe in those areas. Now, today's talk are about things that we bring with us to create that hinder ourselves from being able to create a sense of safety because of our own issues. But I'm going to wrap up with this. If you hit, if you are emotionally abusive, physically abusive, intellectually abusive, spiritually abusive, if you are those things, then that person will never feel safe with you until you change who you are. We need to be able to live a life of love and maturity so that no matter what we do, we create a place that is safe for our partners to be the best version of themselves.